you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
What up? Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Coming at you from the Polaris Razor studio. Jim Beaver here, joined by my partner in crime, Amy Hood. And we got a fun one today, Hood. A really, really fun one. I'm
excited.
I will keep our text messages confidential, but we had quite the humorous string of texts with one of our guests, Josh Herrin, who's coming up in hour number 2. And I don't know, just judging, I've never talked to him in person, but judging by the text messages, I'm like, this is going to be a pretty fun interview. So I know.
Oh yeah, he's a great dude. He's a character, and that's what we love here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Yeah. We have the best characters in the motorsports world.
Yeah, absolutely. Also got Max Papis, who IndyCar drivers, raced Formula One, done a bunch of stuff. He's got a new steering wheel company. I know some of the Monster Jam trucks are actually running his steering wheels. I think Gravedigger is one of them.
Yeah.
But he's going to be calling in.
I got to get myself one.
I know, and I do too. I don't quite have one yet, so I'm looking forward to getting one of those. Also got Matt Martell. He's going to be calling in, talking about XP1K4 dropping today. We got a bunch of UTV World Championship stuff to talk about. Carl Renas, the legend, has announced his retirement at the end of the season. We've got to talk about that. All that and more coming up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at otsff.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to, man, dying here, Hood. I need some CPR or something. Holy crap. There was something in my throat. We're good to go now, though.
Don't die.
Yeah, don't die.
Don't die on me, Jim.
Yeah, holy crap. Oh, man.
We got a whole 2 hours ahead of us. Let's go.
Yeah.
Snap out of it.
Yeah. So, no, we're ready to roll now. But, yeah, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to everybody listening online in national syndication. Rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff here, and Project Action. Yeah, I just got done racing the UTV World Championship, Hood, and I got to tell you, it was one brutal freaking race. I don't even know what to say other than that. It was absolutely probably the roughest race I've ever raced in my entire life. It was
really, and I know you've raced a lot of races, my friend, and if this was by far the toughest, how come? Tell me why.
Just the track. I've never I've raced Laughlin before, but you have. Like in our desert race, we had like over 100 cars, and we were going on this, like it was a 14-mile loop, and we all had to do 10 laps. And it just got so chewed up and beat up, and it was just, I don't know, it was just absolutely brutal on the body by lap 5. I mean, it was just like torturous, like slamming you around, and to the point there, like there was this one.
And how many laps total was it?
It was 10 laps. And, yeah, and by literally there's this 5-mile section we were calling Hell on Earth, and it was so bad, like it would rattle you, and it was like shaken baby syndrome, like side to side, front to back, and there was no way, you just had to gut through it, but it was shaking, your head was shaking so bad, your vision would get blurry. And then you'd start getting dizzy because you couldn't see, and it was crazy. And it wasn't like it was like for 5 seconds. I'm talking about for like miles. And it was shaking your inside so bad you couldn't breathe. And so you literally would have to you'd have to lift off the gas for a minute, take a couple of breaths, and then get back on the gas. And it was crazy. And I had Alyssa Ronick with ESPN. She was riding with me. And, and I told her at one point, I said, and she rode, and she was a trooper. She was an insanely good co-driver.
Camp it out.
And, and after that, she's been around, with athletes all over, X Games, and, and she travels, and she's just been all over with ESPN and done all kinds of things. And I told her, I said, anybody who says that a professional race car driver is not an athlete, I said, I will put them in the seat and prove them wrong. And you can say the same thing about moto or you guys in Monster Jam. People don't realize the forces that get put on the human body in race cars, and especially in off-road situations,
And each sport is very different and unique. Like, I used to think anything 4 wheels, nothing compared to dirt bikes. That was, my go-to is like, oh, yeah, you don't race moto? Like, you know nothing. As soon as I jumped in the seat of a monster truck, it was completely different. And, again, each sport has their respective challenges for that. It's all the hit that you take compared to a dirt bike where basically it's your whole body.
Yeah.
I will have to say that moto is probably the gnarliest, but, Monster Jam is very gnarly compared, in comparison to other things. And I know, we're talking to Camden Murphy, our fellow Monster Jam driver, but he comes from that NASCAR background, and I've always made fun of NASCAR. But when he actually sits down and explains to me the type of things, like his challenges in NASCAR too, I actually try to understand, and it does seem that it's extremely technical and, physically enduring as well. So, every sport and every motorsport has its its own challenges. But, motorsports is still one of the gnarliest industries, I think, by far for, professional athletes, and especially the mental game. Like you sitting at lap 5, dying and, at the peak, like you got 5 more laps to go. So it's not just a physical endurance, but it's a mental endurance that, is what is the factor that I think that makes motorsports so cool, and motorsports athletes being able to overcome that mental barrier to, mind over matter, and that your mind is really that last agent of control. Your body can really withstand anything. It's the mind that you have to convince.
Yeah, well, and that's a good point, and it's like me, like I get in a mindset, and I just start clicking off laps, and it's like I almost become in like robot mode, you know what I mean? But I've figured out over the years, like you can play mind games and, and screw yourself up, and I literally, I separate my mind from my body, and it's like I figured out a way where it's like I can take my head and just set it on top of my body, and like where literally it doesn't matter what happens to my body, I can just shut that out, like the pain, whatever. And, and I can concentrate on the race ahead of me. And it's not an easy thing to do, and it's taken me years to do it. But, and then I get out of the car at the end of the race, and it's like, holy crap, then you start feeling everything.
Did I just do that?
Yeah, but it's, that adrenaline gets working, and you can separate it. But it's like you guys with Monster Jam. I mean, I can only imagine, like we take hits, and, and I've rolled and wrecked and things like that. But you guys, I mean, dropping out of the sky like you do, that's got to be just an abusive, just slam you. I mean, there's no way to make an easy landing in a monster truck.
Well, another cool thing that I think what motorsports athletes face, which, let's be honest, no other athlete will get this type of, experience, unlike somebody driving a 12,000-pound machine or soaring a dirt bike, 3 stories in the air, but it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
We are in part of the most adrenaline-fueled sports on the planet, and what adrenaline can do for, your mental and physical endurance is absolutely incredible. And, it's always that adrenaline that gets you that next step further. It's your adrenaline that helped push you, those last 5 laps of the race. And it's super unique what adrenaline can really do for your body. And I don't think anybody can experience unless you get on something motorized, because, again, no other crazier feeling and, adrenalized, fueled feeling than driving something fast.
Yeah. You know what, though? I had this conversation, so I got to give my Project Action plug, but there's a good reason. So I've got Sebastian Bach. I did an interview with him for the podcast this next Thursday. So those of you who don't know who Sebastian Bach is, you guys are living under a rock a bit. But he's one of the greatest rock and roll frontmen of all time. So he was the lead singer of Skid Row. So, Youth Gone Wild, that song, like party anthem for kids for 30 years, right? That was Sebastian Bach, right? So he's sang with just about everybody. But anyways, so I do an interview with him, and he knows like I'm an action sports guy and a motorsports guy, and we start talking about it. But he's so physically fit, and this guy is like, upper 40s now. He's been doing this for years, But he was saying, he says, people don't understand, he says, to get up on stage at a concert, sing, scream into a mic and run around on stage and put on a show for 2.5 hours. He says, people don't realize, he says, one, your adrenaline's pumping, and he says, a massive adrenaline dump at the end of the night. But he says, dude, he says, I have to be fit to do that. He says, you just can't have a fat old man on stage. He goes, and he's not old. I mean, he's mid-40s at this point, but it was a pretty cool conversation, talking about rock stars being physically fit. And I can see a tie-in, like I get in it, and you're performing in front of an audience, in monster trucks. I got a feeling a rock star's got kind of the same feeling when they're up on stage in front of 15,000 people,
And you know what? I can totally agree to that, because with motocross, I didn't do stuff like that. In Monster Jam, we are, we have the pre-show interviews where we are in the stands with the crowd, and, you get on the Jumbotron, and you don't talk into the microphone, you yell into the microphone, because, you got 15,000 people sitting in the arena waiting to hear you make this grand entrance. You're pumped, you're fueled up. Whenever you win it, and then you perform, and then if you win an event, you get back on the microphone again, and you're super hyped up and excited, and letting all of your emotions out. And we're also entertainers, right? So I'm here, whether I do good or bad, I'm still getting out in front of the crowd and putting on the best performance. And I didn't realize how draining it was until at the end of the night, when I ain't got no voice and I'm exhausted. And I didn't even do like a 30-minute moto, like it's because of all that effort and adrenaline that you're putting out there when you do live entertainment shows. Like that's just what it is. And it's actually really cool. Like I feel like I'm getting a great workout in by going to work.
Yeah, no, that's no kidding. You know what I mean? I get out of a race car like we did. I was in there for 3 hours, 3.5, well, maybe it was 4 hours. I have to look back, but probably around 4 hours in the race car. But you get out, and like it's a workout. You're sore.
Yeah, even though you're sitting down,
you're
expelling so much energy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a short break. We come back. We're going to be talking some Carl Renas Etter retirement, UTV World Championship. I know, Amy, you're hopping back in later on with Josh Herrin, right?
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm just looking for a house over here in Florida. So I'll talk to you guys in an hour.
All right, good luck with the house hunting, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and just got done talking a little UTV World Championship. We're going to talk some more of that here in a minute. We got Matt Martelli from Mad Media, from the Mid 400, from the UTV World Championship, one of the men behind R.J. Anderson's XP1K, which is dropping today. Literally, we are about, what do we got here, 41 minutes from D-Day, from XP1K Day, and I am pretty pumped. I'm trying to figure out how I can watch this video in between a commercial break. I don't know if it's going to happen. Maybe I need to pull it up and literally just watch it. That's what we're going to do. I got a segment in hour number 2, a 12-minute segment, we're going to live watch XP1K here on the radio show. Literally, I'll pull it up on YouTube. We'll let the sound go through, and I'll give commentary on XP1K. How's that work? I think that's going to be rad. That's what we're going to do in hour number 2. I'm going to live watch this thing and give commentary during it. So I will get to watch it. I'll give you guys a heads up so maybe you can watch it at the same time I do, and then we can compare notes. You can tweet me or something like that. But I think that's what we're going to do. But anyways, that drops. I like it when a plan comes together on air. Should be kind of fun. I don't know if we've ever live watched something and I've given commentary during it. So, this is going to be solid. I'm excited for this now. That coming up, that's dropping today. RJ, also UTV World Champ. I was texting with RJ last night. Obviously, he's a buddy of mine. Obviously, we run commercial spots with RJ Anderson giving commentary. He's going to be one of our guests next week on the show. He's getting ready for the Lucas Oil kickoff this weekend. He's got 2 trucks, a Pro 2 and a Pro 4. His brother Ronnie is running a Pro Light and a UTV. So between the 4 race cars all coming out of RJ Anderson's shop, he's got his hands busy. So we're going to give my boy RJ a little breather this week, and then next week we're going to hit it hard and heavy. RJ Anderson on the show. So mark that one down for sure. So we're gonna have Matt Martelli on though, and that's gonna be up in this next segment. And then obviously hour 2 we got Josh Herrin, Max Pappas. It's gonna be a solid show. Big news. And this came out was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I thought, I don't normally put like a whole segment together on this, but to me it was worthy of it. So Carl Renazetter. Legendary Carl Renazetter announced his retirement. It's not immediate, though. He said at the end of the 2017 season, right? So, which is cool. Carl is probably one of the biggest names in short course, probably in the history of short course. And so at least this is going to give him a farewell tour, right? I mean, Carl's been around since, I don't know if it was back in the Soda days. I know the core days. Obviously, Lucas, he's been with Lucas, I think, 19 years now, they were saying, something like that. And Lucas has been his title sponsor. He's kind of been the face as far as off-road goes of Lucas Oil. But so his short course career, he's got 121 wins, 9 short course championships, and 8 cups. I would say that was probably both the Lucas Cup and the Amsoil Cup back in Crandon, which leads me to this thing. All right, so you got Carl Renazetter here, legend, one of the greatest of all times. Obviously, we know Lucas and Torque. There's a split there. They're not completely. They're not on the same page. At least they don't overlap dates and things like that, right? But Amsoil is involved with Torque, and it's the Amsoil Cup back there and stuff like that. And Lucas, obviously Carl's title sponsor is Lucas Oil. So Carl hasn't been to Crandon in I don't know how many years, probably at least I'd say 8 or 10, right? Carl's nickname is Crandon Carl. I mean, Crandon is what created Carl Renazetter. It made him the legend that he is today, right? Those cup wins, those wins at Crandon, the world championships. Crandon arguably created Carl Renazetter, or at least led to who Carl Renazetter is. I mean, he's the only guy that I know of that's nicknamed after Crandon. I mean, it's Crandon Carl, right? Even in Lucas, he's Crandon Carl. And he hasn't been there. And I know I've talked with him in the past on the show. Trust me, we're definitely getting Carl Renazetter on here in the next couple of months. For sure, I promise. But, it's one of those things where you got to wonder, he's wanted to go back. Everybody wants him to go back. He's still a massive draw. And people in Crandon, they're salivating over Renazetter coming back. And, you wonder if this is his last year competing in short course. Is he going to go back for one final time to Crandon? I mean, I don't know how else he could retire without doing it. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. I know as soon as this announcement came out, every off-road social media feed, all the comments, does this mean Carl's going back to Crandon? Can we please have Carl at Crandon one last time? And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If Lucas Oil, if you're listening, I understand, I get it. Please, I'm pleading with you. Let Carl Renas go back to Crandon one final time before he retires. I would love to see him compete at Crandon one more time. You want to talk about a ratings hit? And obviously it wouldn't be for Lucas, it would be for the rival series, but just, I don't know. It's like, man, just let him go back one final time. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I can't say. I'm sure if Carl wants to go, Lucas is going to say go. This is his final stop. They understand. He's Crandon Carl. So you gotta think Lucas is going to say, yeah, go for it, and I don't think this whole thing has been on them. Obviously there's a lot of guys that are in, racing Lucas Oil that don't have sponsor conflicts that could go back to Crandon, and they don't. You've got two different series. It's a lot of money to go back to the Midwest. So, I don't want you guys thinking for, all this time it's, he hadn't been going because of Lucas Oil. There is obviously that sponsor conflict, but there's a lot of drivers who don't have conflicts that don't go back to Crandon. So, it's one of those things, but I don't know, me, the fan, right? The fan here is going, please, man, we want Carl at Crandon. So I don't know. But anyways, I did want to touch base on that. Carl Renas, he's running the complete 2017 series. He'll be running Pro 2 and Pro 4. This guy, he literally, his program is top notch. He ran it like a business, and it has been just a marketing machine. You want to look at how to run a successful race program, you look at what Carl Renas has done. It's just tremendous. And the cool thing is he's going out on top. He's still competitive. You think Pro 4, you think Pro 2, you think Carl Renas, right? Obviously McCachran's mixed in, and Kyle LeDuc, and there's some others, but you name 3 guys in Pro 4, the top 3 guys, Renas on that list. You named 5 guys in Pro 2, the top 5 guys, Renas on that list. He's a threat every weekend to take a win. And, and for him to step away, he's still in his prime, man. He could still be taking wins in championships. That's kind of cool that he's able to go out on his terms. And another thing I wanted to touch base on is a lot of fans that are coming in don't realize his desert racing pedigree. Renas is just all right. We got Matt Martelli calling in. We're gonna chat here. So, all right. Hey, what's up, Matt? You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. You got me?
Yeah. I know. I'm glad you called in, man. You're a few minutes early, but I'm talking Carl Renas in this retirement, buddy. So you can chime in here just as much as I can.
Yeah, let me in on that one.
Yeah. So I just talked for 10 minutes on this, but dude, you got to think Lucas Oil's going to let him go to Crandon this year. He's Crandon Carl, man. It's got to happen, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
I just don't want him to quit.
No, I agree. But he's going out on his own terms, dude. At least he's at his peak. You know what I mean? It's not like he's being pushed out the door and no sponsorship, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, this was my same argument with LeDuc when LeDuc retired. Is like when you get slow and everybody's beating you, yeah, it's time to go. But when you're at the top of the game, I just think, off-road is one of the few sports where you can last a long time. And frankly, most drivers get better with age.
Yeah. I know me. I wish I knew what I knew now 10 years ago. I would have saved me a lot of money, that's for sure. But
well,
but seriously, Carl, he's like I said, you think of like Pro 4, you think of, he's one of the top 3 guys. You immediately, McCachran, LeDuc, Renas. There's a few others cycled in there, but he's one of the guys, it's just, to me, it's crazy, but the good news is I know he's got a trophy truck sitting in the shop, Matt, and I wonder if his retirement from short course means maybe he's going to pull that thing out and come desert racing with us here and there.
Well, that would really be nice to see because, again, he's super competitive. He's healthy. He's sharp. He hasn't really faded in any way. No. So, it'd be one thing if he wasn't up to snuff, but man, he's out there battling at the top of the field still in a very competitive class, and both in Pro 2 and Pro 4. So I know he's going to park the Pro 2 this year, which I was bummed to hear. But, it's one of those things. I don't like to see any top competitor go away at all. I want to see him stay in there,
Yeah.
Maybe we should start a petition to get him to go one more year, and then next year we can do it again. We'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it until no, I agree. It was just, this one I think came as a shocker to everybody. I got that press release and I'm like, whoa, I didn't see this one coming. I really didn't,
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing about short courses. Like, I think it's a great compressed format, and whether you like a particular driver or not, you want a mare to battle everybody, So the loss of any driver is to me is a loss, but somebody as great as Carl, who's been a champion, multi-time champion, and just a hard-nosed racer,
Yeah.
He's great entertainment, and he races hard every race. So, yeah, maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like he retires, and about a month into it, he's got to come back and get back into the fight.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a short break. We come back. We got Matt for another 15 minutes. So we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Welcome, Matt Martelli, back to the line. And Speaking of Polaris Razor, we just had the Polaris Razor UTV World Championship going down in Laughlin, Matt, and I got to tell you, I've been announcing that thing for 2 years for you. This year I stepped into the driver's seat, and man, talk about a brutal, brutal course. I don't think people realize how tough it is to win the UTV World Championship. That course is just, it goes away so fast, and it's so hard to get those cars to the finish line.
Yeah, not only that, but name another class that has 120 racers in a class. Like, it's crazy. So I'm really stoked with this year's event. We've grown it every year. This year we had 272 UTVs racing with us and 350 total entries, including bikes and quads. So, it's one of the biggest off-road races in the U.S. and really on the planet. So it's crazy to grow 3 years and have it be so big. So yeah, you're right. That course is particularly deceiving. Everybody looks at it and goes, oh, it's pretty smoothed out DG and sand and man, it holes form and speed bumps or chatter bumps and whoops and, all kinds of rocks and, and the dust there is just killer. No matter what we do, we water the heck out of it, and it still comes back. So, yeah, it's a really gnarly, challenging course.
Yeah.
Cool thing about it is I did a little history with my friend Rory Ward, little searching, and I figured out that we've been racing that course since 1975. So it has a long history in off-road racing, and I'm really stoked to, bring all the new UTV racers to such a historical course.
Yeah, it's I remember going back there, I can't remember. It was before SCORE brought Laughlin back, but there used to be a race there, and my dad used to go and run there in Class 8, and I'm thinking early 80s maybe. I don't know. I years are going to be foggy at this point because I was just a kid. But the course has been around for a long time, and it's funny. It's very deceiving. We went around on the pre-run, or I guess it was called the poker run, right? And I had Jolene in the car and Alyssa Ronick with ESPN, and we go around, and they're like, well, this is like fast. Like you could have took a rental car around it on Friday, right? And
yep.
And they're like, well, this is really fast. I'm like, no. I said, this is going to be worse than the Mint 400. And they looked at me and they're like, no way. And I'm like, just trust me. I said, 2 laps in, you guys are going to be cussing. And literally, they looked at me like lap 3 or something. I think Alyssa got in the car, and we start going around. She goes, this isn't anything like it was yesterday. I go, I told you guys. It was, it's just. You got to know, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about lap races is, whether it's the Mint or whether it's, UTV World Championship, is the course is changing every lap. Every car that's going down that course is changing the course. So, when I watch NASCAR and I hear them talk about these little degrees of temperature change,
yeah.
I start laughing. I'm like, there's a boulder where there wasn't a boulder now, and there's a 3-foot hole where there wasn't a 3-foot hole. So the dynamics of off-road racing are so much more vast than any other form of racing. So, it's something you have to take into consideration every lap, every turn, every obstacle.
Yeah, and I know you and I were talking, and and I know like the short course guys, they ran after us, and it was a rougher course, and it wasn't rougher, it was the same one we had, but it was after we ran it, but it was 3 laps of the 14 miles, and all the short course guys are going, how come we have to do 14 miles? How come we have to do 14 miles? That's long, we're short course. And like you'd told me, and I didn't even really think about it, I'm like, yeah, it'd be smart to put them on a 5-mile course, but then you go, look, we can't put them on a 5-mile course because over 100 cars on a 5-mile course doesn't work. And so put it into perspective, I'm like, we have so many of these cars. I mean, you go to a Lucas short course event like a regional, and they may have 20 or 30 UTVs. Works probably the same thing, and it's like here, you've got hundreds. It's like, it's just mind-boggling, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point in doing this race, was to bring everybody together, but, we definitely have to keep evolving the race format, and likely we'll be going to 2 days of racing next year. To give the racers a little bit more racing and run some heats and maybe even run in qualifying. So, we're going to keep evolving it. But yeah, we could go with a bigger loop, but that would only solve the issue for the desert guys. So it's a tough race. But one thing I was really stoked on this year is both the the desert race and short course race were won by guys in the third row.
Yeah.
So, this idea that, you're out of luck unless you start in that first row, it isn't true. Guys are going to break, they're going to fade, they're going to make mistakes. And it's really about who can maintain their car, and drive the wheels off.
Yeah, well, and I know the desert race, and I probably shouldn't say this on air, but I'm going to say it anyways. I was kind of stoked. Obviously, I'm a factory Polaris driver. There's, Polaris has their factory team. Brand X has their factory team. But I was kind of stoked that a privateer ended up winning and beating all the factory teams. I mean, I've been an underdog my whole life until the past year, right? So, I can appreciate the underdog story, and I thought that was kind of cool because everybody goes, oh, why do I want to build a UTV? There's all these factory teams, and we can't compete with them. And I'm like, well, here's proof in the pudding, man. You can compete.
Totally. No, I mean, that's, the reality of it is that, these cars are still evolving, and nobody has the perfect formula. Last year, Cognito had a non-turboed car that was pretty bulletproof as they swept the season. But you look at what happened when they moved to turbo, they started having teething issues. So, and looking at this race and looking at the guys who won, I guess you could say in the short course that RJ is a factory-backed guy, but, he hasn't been racing a bunch of UTV races, so that car was really, unproven for the season. So, going into this race, honestly, he was really unsure of his vehicle. So, as far as prep goes, so yeah, it is great. And truthfully, it's great to see other brands win too, because as far as I'm concerned, that just pushes the evolution. We want to see all the factories involved, everybody, Honda, Kawasaki, Can-Am, even Robby's, program, his Super Cat was out there, so that's what pushes everything forward.
Yeah, well, and I know, it's funny because I probably talked with Rob McCachran for 30 minutes at Contingency. He kind of pulled me aside and we were talking, and I'm kind of a trophy truck guy that's moved towards UTV, and my program's a little bit different, but we were talking, and, and you see guys like Reese Millen in, and you see guys like Robby Gordon in, and Larry Rossler, and, and McCachran, I mean, he's, I think in the next 12 months, you're going to see McCachran show up with some type of a UTV program. One, because he wants to, but two, he wants to get his son racing, because his son's of age now, and he sees this as the proper fit. But to me, it's just mind-blowing. I mean, this has become the place to go, you know what I mean? And it's not, the competition level, I would say, is the same in UTV as you have in trophy truck. It's just, might be, you've got guys like Lambert and Sims who might not be quite as widely known, but the competition level is so extreme right now in UTV racing. There's only a handful of classes you're getting that close of racing.
No, you're right. Look, the racing is fantastic, and it's just going to get better. The field is getting deeper, and and like the guy who won the desert race, Blurton, he's not a nobody. We know who he is, but he was definitely not a guy that we thought was going to be a threat for the overall.
Yeah.
We thought he would be there top 10, but if you would have asked me, pick your winners, I would have gone with the usual suspects. I agree, and I think you're going to see more of that. I've told all the guys who race other classes, don't ditch your Class 1 car, your trophy truck, or 10 car, whatever it is you enjoy racing. It's not a matter of that. Come race this, because these are the shifter carts of off-road racing. You're going to have really good racing. You're going to get a lot of bang for your buck racing these vehicles, and you're going to have fun. I mean, that was one thing that I was really proud of at this event, was when you walked around Contingency and you walked around the race, everybody was smiling.
Yeah.
Everybody was having a good time. People weren't mad at each other. They weren't mad at officials. They weren't mad at, the whole situation. They were having a good time racing. That's what it's all about ultimately, is that ratio of, how much money you spend, how much effort you put in to the amount of fun that you have.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I can say building this program. Like, I'm a truck guy. I don't know a lot about UTVs. I'm learning fast, right? But, I got a guy like Sims, who's a good friend of mine, And I'm on the phone once a week to Brandon Sims. Hey, what should I do? What adjustment should I make here? Johnny from UTV Inc., same thing, and Mitchie Jr., I call him a lot, and it's like I've got these guys who I'm actually competing against, and they're opening up their secrets and going, Jimmy, you really should make this adjustment. And Bradbury, same thing. We were talking, waiting in line to register, and he told me, he's like, you need to make this modification of the clutch housing. We went Friday night, made that modification, it dropped our belt temps by 20 degrees. And so these are fellow racers giving me these hints, making my car better and making me faster, and I'm like, you don't get that in trophy truck.
Well, I think that's because they want to see other people come and compete and get involved, so, you're right. But, off-roading is like that in general, we help each other out quite a bit, but because this market is so new and fresh, the attitudes are as well.
Yeah. So we got to switch gears here, though. We got a couple of minutes left. I know a big one right now. We're about 15 minutes away. XP1K Part 4 dropping, man. This is this one you guys have had in the hopper for a while, and I know this one takes things to an all-new level, man.
Yeah, this is – we tried some stuff in this. Unfortunately, we pulled all the stunts, but I could tell you that this was the hardest one we've done yet. Every time we do an XP1K, the expectation level has risen. And fortunately, the Razor platform is so malleable, and there's so many different things that we can do with this vehicle. And still, there's still a lot to go even beyond this one. But I'm really stoked on this one because we got to shoot it locally in the hills just east of San Diego, where we all grew up riding motocross and freestyle motocross. And that was a big influence on us, the jumping and the different stunts like the backflip and the wall of death. A lot of that was motorcycle and freestyle motocross influence. So it's kind of our way to give a little nod back to our roots and where all this started from. But yeah, this one was really difficult to do. The builds were massive. And, we just so happened to have the rainiest season in Southern California, which really made it difficult from a logistics standpoint. But we got it done, and, we were able to pull off some amazing stunts, did amazing car build, and I think everybody's going to be blown away, as usual. So, check it out on utvunderground.com at 10 a.m. Pacific and share it, help us share it with the world and show how cool off-roading is and how cool these vehicles are and what they're capable of.
Yeah, so it's going to be front page UTV Underground 10 a.m. That's the details there?
Yep, that's where it's going to be, and it'll be on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
Let's let her rip and show the world how cool this stuff is. Yeah, and really, RJ outdid himself. Yeah. I mean, when you tell somebody, hey, we're going to backflip a car, there's immediate fear in their face. And you've got to overcome the psychology of that. And, there's no way you look at that and go, yeah, it's no big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
The level of danger, of possible injury was extremely high in this one. We ended up backflipping, 30 feet in the air with a 25 to 30 foot gap, falling to the ground at that point. That would be a bad day. To put it lightly. So, we tested and tested and tested, and we got a lot of help from the freestyle motocross guys, namely Twitch and a few of the other guys. So it really helped, it really helped.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Matt. We'll definitely be tuned in. I'm going to live watch this thing in hour number 2 and give some commentary. So it should be fun, but we'll definitely get that plugged up on social media, and we'll definitely chat soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. All right. And we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Trunkload of cash at the Blue Water Resort and Casino, and they're giving away $76,000 in cash.
Oh yeah, the more we play, the more entries we can earn.
Woohoo! Plus, they're giving away over $3,000 in cash every Saturday.
Then on Saturday, June 24th, a guaranteed $43,000 in cash will be given away.
See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF-13. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom Saturday, May 13th with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission is just $15. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver holding it down. Just got done with Matt Martelli, talking a little UTV World Championship XP1K, dropping in hour number 2. And we're going to live watch this thing in one of our segments. And, kind of recapping. I know Amy and I, talked a little bit. I did mention Sebastian Bach, and that is right. I did do an interview with the rock and roll legend Sebastian Bach. That's going to drop this week, this Thursday on Project Action on Podcast One, my spinoff podcast. We call it Action Sports Celebrities Badasses, but we mix in a little bit of motorsports, a little bit of racing. So last week we had Adam Carolla. The week before that, I think we've had Amy Hood. We've had Colette Davis. We had Adam Carolla last week. This week it's Sebastian Bach. Next week it's either Naomi Kyle or Antron Brown. And the following week it's going to be the other one of those two. So I'm telling you right there, mixing in some stuff. We got a lot of action sports athletes lined up for the next month too. So I don't know. We're killing it over there. Long-form, in-depth interviews. I think you guys are going to love it. Please, if you haven't already, go to iTunes, subscribe to Project Action, this podcast as well, or this radio show that's also a podcast. And then and if you rate and review, when you leave that review on iTunes, leave your Twitter, Instagram, @username, and I will follow you back. My promise to you, you want to follow from me for Twitter, Instagram? That's the easiest way to do it. Go and rate, review, and subscribe to Project Action on Podcast One there on iTunes, and make sure to look for us each and every Thursday. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, I don't know, we got some UTV World Championship wrap-up. We got Max Papis, Josh Herrin, all that and more coming at you. Hour number 2, the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And right now we're going to recap some of the Polaris RZR UTV World Championship results. These results and all Best of the Desert and all Lucas Oil results brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Make sure and check out that brand new Grabber X3. Same thing I was running on my Polaris RZR at the UTV World Championships this past weekend. And looking down the list, looks like we did have some motorcycle racers, competing up first. And looks like overall bike was Open Pro Jacob Argebright taking home that win on a Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, doing all 10 laps. But we're going to skip down to some UTV results here. Group B, it was Phil Blurton UTV Turbo overall win. And then you got to second place. It was Justin Lambert, about 20 seconds back. Close battle there for 1 and 2 in Turbo. Mark Holes in the third spot. UTV Unlimited winner Michael Isom, fourth overall. Dan Fisher, he was fourth in Turbo and was fifth outright. Brandon Schuler finished fifth in Turbo, sixth outright. And then we had Andre Izak, Brandon Sims. Izak was your your naturally aspirated winner. Brandon Sims, sixth in Turbo, eighth overall. We had Benjamin Bischoff, and then Robert Villarreal, Unlimited UTV Unlimited class, 10th overall. Going down the list a bit, I'm just looking for some more notables. We had Reese Millen there. He was 11th in Turbo, 20th overall. Going down a little bit farther, we have my boys over there, the UTV Wolfpack, the Merrills. They were 15th in Turbo. Myself, I was 20th in Turbo, and so, I don't know, solid effort by us. I know we had some downtime, about 20 minutes, swapping in and out journalists for this one. My engine builder, Mark Queen, solid effort there. He got 12th place in his class. So, I don't know, it was a fun weekend, that's for sure, man. Just going down, continuing to go down. Just trying to see anybody else that notables. Robby Gordon finished 8 laps there in his bright orange beast. That's the easiest way to put that thing. He pitted right next to us. I was able to look at that. Whew. Kristen Matlock, man, poor Kristen. She had some problems with her hot rod there. Looking on social media, I had an amazing interview with her out there at Contingency. Definitely want to skip back and check out those, that interview when you get the chance. But we are going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We got Max Pappas, Joe Duncan online here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go, so let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
All the hits of Boston and Styx. Boz Styx, a tribute to two great rock bands, live in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Don't miss David Victor, former lead singer of Boston, perform Boston and Styx greatest hits Saturday, May 27th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. General admission tickets just $25. VIP only $40. Tickets on sale now. Get your tickets at the gift shop or online.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and we're kicking off hour number 2. And don't forget, this hour we got Joe Duncan, Max Pappas. They are calling into the show here shortly. We got Josh Herrin, who will be on the line with myself and Amy Hood, and then we are going to live watch XP1K this hour, and we're 2 minutes in. It should have dropped a few minutes ago. Hopefully you guys are over on UTV Underground watching it as you listen to this, but we are going to live watch that sucker, so if you haven't, pull it up on UTV Underground, but don't hit play. Watch it with me. We'll do it at the same time here in, about 15 minutes. Just waiting on Joe Duncan to call into the show with Max Pappas. And Max, man, he's a legend. IndyCar, NASCAR, Formula One. He's done it all. He's got a brand new steering wheel company, MPI, Max Pappas Innovations, and making some of the best steering wheels on the planet. Definitely good stuff. I got an order in for a couple of them right now. I got a couple, 2 new Razor builds I'm doing, a 4-seater and a 2-seat turbo, and we're going to have some MPI wheels in that sucker. Definitely looking forward to having them different, all different types of shapes, sizes, covers, dishes, dish depth, diameters. It's pretty remarkable, everything that they've been able to come up with. Definitely solid company. I know it's funny, talking about Terracross, Joe Duncan calling in with Max. He's going to get involved with the Terracross series this year. Man, it'd be awesome if we could actually see him out there racing with us. But I was, at the UTV Worlds, and that Terracross, that was kind of like it was a buzzword there. Everybody's asking about Terracross. They know I'm involved with the series, and Joe, and it's pretty cool, when you don't have to give a pitch anymore, right? It's just, people know about you and know what's going on and things like that. So it's pretty good stuff, really. Kind of waiting on Joe to call into the show. I don't know what's hanging up, but like I said, don't forget XP1K just dropped a few minutes ago. We are going to be live watching that on the radio show. Definitely looking forward to that, and it's I don't know. I mean, it's actually kind of cool. They've had it in SoCal, and we've seen a few teaser images of the Wall of Death and like a backflip, but they really haven't given us much. I don't know. I really don't know what to think of it. You know what I mean? What direction it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, they can go so darn many different ways, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. And then I'm pulling up as we speak, XP1K, and it's on the front page UTV Underground right now, and it shows RJ Anderson back flipping a razor. They've got like the motion sequence, and I can't wait to talk to RJ about that. But he's nuts. He'd do anything. Like I don't know. That's a guy, like, I've seen him charge jumps, like, I'll work myself up to a double or something like that in Terracross. Like, all right, you know what I mean? It's like roll it a few times, and then, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, I think it's this down, and speed check it. And it's like, all right, so then you go and hit it, and all right, we landed it, right? RJ, no speed checking, no rolling it. It's just gas on, game on, boom. And that's literally pretty much the way RJ Anderson rolls. So I can only imagine what's going to happen with XP1K. It's definitely going to be entertaining. That's for darn sure. But RJ Anderson, he will be in action. Man, the whole Anderson crew going to be killing it in Lucas this weekend. His younger brother Ronnie running a Razor and running a Pro Light, doing double duty. RJ Pro 2, Pro 4. He's doing double duty. So, man, the Andersons going to have every division. In Lucas Oil, they're going to have something in every single division. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. So, So I don't know what's going on with Joe Duncan, but it's. I don't know, man. Maybe he's got something busy. Maybe he's got some business dealings going on. Really looking forward to live watching this. So as I said, we got UTVunderground.com. We've got that. We've got it up right now. They've got it up, so you can go and click on that XP1K video. I'm trying to convince you guys to wait 10 minutes before you hit click play, but I understand. I understand if you can't, if you can't wait, I know me, it'd be pretty tough. It's like sitting there. It's like, do I want to click it? I'm just going to click it, and then we'll just hear Jimmy talk about it. So I get it. I get it. I feel you, right? So those of you that can hang out and, you do have a little self-control, wait to click that button for another 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll watch it together. But, UTV World Championship. I know Max Pappas, he was out there. I was out there. Continuously, it was crazy. It's like become a convention, seriously, like a trade show for the UTV industry. My friends at Impact, they launched a brand new UTV seat that I'm going to have in my 2 new builds. So we're going to have those new seats in my new UTV build. Sorry, I'm sitting here in the middle of the show texting, guests and things like that. It's kind of crazy the way this works, right? So they debuted some new seats out there. I know Polaris, I got to tell you one thing I really liked for the kids. My daughter, she's got a Razor 170. We're out there all the time, shredding laps and burning laps in this thing. They've got this new Ace, Polaris Ace. I think it's like a 150. It's like a single seat right in the center. Thing is super, super rad. Some of those were out there racing in the kids events, and I was really, really impressed with those things, man. And that's one thing we didn't even talk about, the kids race out there at the UTV World Championship. Holy crap, over 50 kids in the youth race. And we got to give some results. Luke Knupp out of Peoria, Arizona, taking the win, 42 entries. We had Jackson Lambert. That's right, Lambert, Cognito Lambert. He was in second. Justin Lambert's son, Aaron Cuevas, in third. And then we had Cadence Cowan in fourth, and Luke Collins in fifth. And that was the youth race. And how cool is it that there was 42 entries in the youth race? I mean, that's so rad. 42 entries. And then those were the 150 or 170 class, right? So you've got the youth 250 class. It was Dallas Gonzalez taking the win there in the youth 250 class. So those tell you what, those 250s is crazy, man. Those things are freaking on point. Those things haul. Massive field of UTVs for the kids. 42 entries. Pretty cool to see, the young up-and-coming racers and things like that. Kids that we're going to see 10 years from now shredding these turbos and 1000s. Some of them not even that long, probably 5-6 years, Start looking at, girls like Sierra Romo, Amanda Sorensen, Seth Quintero, young kids and just shredding these razors. And, Haley Deegan, she's another one you throw in that bunch. She's been racing razors before. But, kids are getting younger and younger. It's kind of crazy how talented they are. And, 10 years from now, man, our sport of off-road is definitely going to have just a massive crop of talent coming up. That's definitely for sure. So, I don't know what happened with Joe Duncan, and Max Pappas. Something must have happened, must have got hung up there. But we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be live watching R.J. Anderson XP1K Part 4 right here on the radio show. So those of you who haven't gone over there already, go to utvunderground.com, pull it up. And, I guess I know how it is. If you're listening to this on your iPhone, you can just turn the volume up. You can minimize the screen, then go to UTV Underground. And I think you could live watch it. I don't know. If you're in front of your computer, it's going to make life a little bit easier. I don't know. But I'm sure you guys can figure it out. You're probably smarter than me with this technology. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be live watching XP1K Part 4 right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Hey everyone, this is Sean Wheelock inviting you to check out our new MMA podcast, Sean Funky and the Baddest Man, right here on Podcast One. Every week I'll be with welterweight titleist Ben Funky Askren and the baddest man on the planet, Joe Warren, to take you inside the sport of MMA. So join us every Wednesday for all new episodes of Sean Funky and the Baddest Man. Download and listen at podcastone.com, the Podcast One app, and subscribe on iTunes.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF-13. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom Saturday, May 13th with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission is just $15. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and we're getting ready to live watch the debut of XP1K4. It's 14 minutes it's been live, but I am seriously right now typing in UTVunderground.com on my computer. If something pops up sound-wise, we got the sound from my computer pumped in to the radio show, so if something pops up, I know sometimes they have sound pop-ups or something on UTV Underground site. That's what happens. I'll try and mute it, but if it gets loud real quick, I'm just giving you fair warning. You know what the heck's going on. So, yeah, there we go. All right, you heard a little bit. XP1K4, we're clicking that. Yeah, they got their, man, UTV Underground and their automatic pop-ups. Drive me nuts, man. All right, so I am clicking on, all right now. So you guys logged in. I'm giving you a second here, UTVunderground.com. You can tweet me throughout this thing. So what's going to happen? I'm going to click play. I haven't watched this. I've seen the teasers. I have no idea what's going to happen, what's going on. But I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to give commentary throughout the whole video and reactions and stuff like that. So it should be kind of fun. We've never done this on this radio show before, but we're doing it today. So this, I'll give you guys another few seconds. It's UTVunderground.com. It's right on the front page. The viral video, the newest one, hadn't gone viral yet. Guarantee you will by day's end. But this is RJ Anderson, XP1K. I'm going to watch it at the same time as you guys. Hopefully we can get the volume in check right away. But it might be loud for a second. But here we go. Hit and play about now. So. All right, get the volume turned down. All right, we got RJ walking here. We got the pimp strut going on. If you've been around RJ long enough, you know he's got the strut, right? Well, trying to adjust my volume here. Keep it down a little bit. All right, we got sponsor promos going on here. Oh, this is pretty rad. Didn't see that one coming. That's something new. Digging at Martelli Brothers. Nice. It's like some sci-fi stuff going on there. I got the lights. Got it fired up. Getting it revved up. I'm getting ready to unleash hell on this track. Dropping the hammer. Yeah, we got to have the, whoa, big jump there. Got the Polaris disclaimer, right, at the bottom, closed, or professional driver closed course. No kidding, right? Got to love lawyers in the U.S. Backing her in there. Digging the blue and orange. Thing looks sharp. Nice little jumps. Going through the rocks. Man, some rugged stuff up there. You can tell he's putting some virgin tire tracks down, too. Talk about tight, man. These are some tight jumps. Like, there's no room for runoff. That's kind of cool, jumping in and out of holes. I'm digging that. Digging that. Jumping through the bushes. Look at that. Man. That's the most impressive thing I've seen in the video so far. It's him through the whoops. Crazy. Jumping up a concrete, I don't know what the heck you'd even call that, up a rock wall. Man. Grind rail. We've had that in a few of these. Double grind rail. I'm digging that. Right on the A-arms. No sparks flying this time. No special effects. Man, it's rugged where he's riding at. Up through, man, that's tight right there through the rocks. A ripping A-arm off of there. Whoa, look at that massive step down there. Onto the ramp. That is a hell of a step down. Holy crap, RJ. It's sliding sideways. It's all over the binders. Just going for the ride here. Oh, man, if you guys aren't tuned in and you're just listening to me, like, seriously, you guys need to go to UTVunderground.com right now and watch this video. Crazy. We're watching RJ just throw. Uh-oh. All right. Oh, they got it so you can go in. All right, so we got the Wall of Death coming up. Wall of Death. There he goes. We got magic in the making right there. Now he's all right. He's in the wall of death. It's like the old thing from the circuses where you just go. It's an endless loop, right? And he's just going in circles around this wall of death. Holy crap! The G-force has got to be insane on RJ right now. We're gonna see if we can pull out of this thing though. It's like the return of the wall of death. It's so rad. You let off the gas, you roll over. Oh, he brought it. He got out of there. Down, out. Legit. See, he's jumping out. See, last time we didn't get to see if he made it out. This one he did make it out. So pretty rad there. They were able to pull it out. Big berm shot. Throwing some roost. I'm digging it so far. Uh-oh, here's the backflip ramp from the teasers. We're about halfway through this video. We're bringing out the backflip. All right, RJ, let's nail this, buddy. Got the fall-away ramp. Kick the front end up. Slow rotation. We got the drones flying there. All right, all nice slow motion. Boom, stuck it. Backflipping Razor, RJ Anderson sticking it. You're just along for the ride at this point. You know, you can see the smile under his helmet. Oh, man, I just did it. Like, he's like, woohoo. Oh, RJ Anderson sticking to backflip. Wow. Good deal. So we got the run out. We got Martelli's talking and kind of pointing and, you know, sponsor plugs and stuff like that. RJ getting out of the video. So we're like right at 5 minutes long, but we're going to click out of here so no more pop-ups happen on UTV Underground. No more sound. But I don't know, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed the video. Wow. That's all I can say is, wow. RJ Anderson throwing it down. XP1K Part 4. Just live to watch that here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my commentary. I had a lot of fun with that. You know, some of those jumps, you know, I think we get spoiled. And like this social media age, like it's like you know, it's got to be massive, right? Or it's got to be this huge structure and things like that. But I'm looking at some of that stuff, and it's like, to me, like one of the most impressive things was him in that whoop section. Holy crap, those whoops were nasty, gnarly, and you know, he was just pinned through there, just brop. You know, and that car was dialed in to be able to go through those whoops. Like, to me, that was some of the most impressive stuff we saw in the whole video, right? And then some of those step downs and things like that, you're literally threading the needle. You know, you don't know, you know, as far as speed and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I thought it was very impressive. You know, there was some of the other stuff that, you know, obviously the wall of death, that was kind of cool. I mean, once you get in there, you know, it's just, I don't know if it's about skill. It's just getting yourself up to do it, right? I thought it was pretty cool that they got it so he could actually drive out of it this time. Other thing, you know, the backflip, that's the big one. That was, you know, the finale there, the backflip. And I know that some of these ramps they've got now, I mean, he's not the first guy to backflip a Razor. Probably certainly won't be the last. There's quite a few guys doing it now. But you know, it's all about the ramp design. But you can tell, like, you know, I think that was a first cut type of deal, which to me, if that was the first cut, obviously I'm sure he backflipped into some foam pits or something like that. And I know they always build one backup car just in case, but that isn't something you can do a lot of takes at. You know, it's not like a jump. Oh, I'll jump a little bit farther. Oh, slide it a little bit more, right? And I've been out filming with the Martellis. They've done, you know, they did the first highlight video for a Star Car and things like that. You know, well, they did the first two videos, right? So I know how they go. But something like that, it's not like you get multiple takes. You get one shot at it, man. You better have the camera rolling because that's all she wrote. And so, you know, with that, especially, you know, there's massive consequences when you start taking Razors upside down. And, man, props to RJ Anderson. Obviously won the UTV World Championship this past weekend, but his videos continue to innovate. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things just like Gymkhana, you know, now we're 4 videos in with XP1K. It's like, where do you go next? How do you take this to another level? You know, because you got to continue to jump higher. and jump farther. As we saw in B.J. Baldwin, he's in Cuba now, filming his. Ken Block's gone to Dubai to do his. It's kind of crazy, but you got to continue to innovate, continue to push the limits, and it's not easy, with viral videos because it starts falling on deaf ears. It's like people are like, we saw that before. So you got to continue to impress them, and it becomes the consequences get higher and higher and higher. And that's why people go, when's the next one? And sometimes it takes 2 years, to come out with a next one. It's not a yearly thing, but to get these locations, to build these ramps, to get the permitting, to get the proper car to actually do it, it all takes time, and it's a massive process. So it's not something you can plan on. And I know this video was supposed to be done in January, and here we are in April, and it was delayed by 3 months, I think. But it takes time, and it's something you can have a soft window. Hey, I think we're going to have it done. But sometimes you just have to go and you got to reshoot something, or this permit fell through, and so you got to delay shooting this one part of this video for a week until that permit can get finished. And, and it's just things like this. It's a massive project. Props to them. RJ threw it down again. Obviously, this video is going to go viral, no doubt about it. You put something together like this, it's only a matter of time. It's like, when is it going to hit the first 1 million views, right? But I know I'll be sharing it. If you didn't go to utvunderground.com already, make sure and go over there. You can watch it. It's on YouTube. I'm sure Polaris and everybody's social media feed has it by now. I'll be posting it up on my Facebook when we get off air today. Hopefully you guys like my commentary of the video. Thought it was pretty fun. I had some fun with it. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it with the next viral video that comes out. Maybe the next Gymkhana or something like that. But had a lot of fun with it. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We got Amy Hood and Josh Herrin on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, hanging out, waiting on Josh Herrin and to call in. We got, Amy Hood's conferencing in with him, and we're gonna have them both on air. So, that should be going down here in any second. But Josh Herrin, we got MotoGP in Austin, Texas this weekend. And it should definitely be a good time. So I actually haven't been to Circuit of the Americas yet. Definitely a bummer. I missed all the X Games there, and so here we go. All right, looks like we got Amy Hood and Josh Herrin on, correct? Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jim? It's Amy and Josh calling you.
All right, I like it.
Josh. Yeah, welcome to the show, Josh. I know right now you're sitting in an Uber on your way to the airport to go to Coda for some racing in MotoGP.
Yeah, just, I thought I was going to be at the airport by now, so sorry if there's any background noise to you guys, but, just pulling up to the terminal now, so.
Awesome. So, man, I haven't been to Circuit of the Americas yet. I was just saying when we called in, but it's got to be pretty fun to race there, man. How is that facility in that? Have you actually raced there before? I know they've had a lot of motorcycle racing there. Have you actually been there yet, though?
Yeah, the first year I raced there was 2014. I did some European racing. I traveled around with MotoGP and Moto2. So I raced there 2014, and then this will be the fourth year in a row that I've been there. So it's a really sick track. The layout isn't the greatest just because it's kind of made for cars.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of long straightaways and super sharp corners. So it's not like your typical GP track where you can just, it's like kind of wide open corners and flowing. It's really stop and go. So it's cool just going because there's, probably 75,000 people that go to watch it. So it's just a fun event to be at. That's probably the best part.
Yeah, well, and
I actually had the opportunity to go to that race in 2014 too, but that was my very first MotoGP experience. And let me tell you, I always thought you guys just kind of go in a straight line and there's no jumps or nothing. But wow, is it a different experience when you're actually a spectator and sitting in the stands and you can feel the bikes as they go by. You guys are going so fast. It's pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah, it's a gnarly feeling, especially whenever you get, with the MotoGP guys. I mean, those bikes are so loud. You can definitely feel them when they come by, and it's a pretty crazy experience. But even the super bikes now, like production bikes, they're starting to get so much technology in them, and they're getting so much faster that it's almost not even that much different going to a Moto America race in America. So it's really crazy, how the technology's come along and how much better the bikes are now.
Yeah, well,
talking about better some bikes, you had a pretty epic 2016 year. You won 8 events, 7 in a row in the Superstock 1000 class, but now you're making that jump to the Superbike class. It's kind of like going from 250s to the 450s in Moto, if you will. Now you're stepping up with the big boys. Kind of walk us through your year and, what you're expecting for next year moving up.
Yeah, it's ever since I got back from Europe, it's just kind of been like a rebuilding thing. I won the Superbike Championship in 2013, so I've already been, with Factory Yamaha winning Superbike races in America, and then we went to Europe and kind of had my career kind of turned around. I had to rebuild from where I started, and now we're kind of finally back to where we were when I left in 2013. And I'm expecting it to be a pretty tough year just because we're a smaller team. I'm not on a factory team like I was before, but this is my 3rd year with the same team, and we're like a family. So I think that, being a smaller team and having that really tight-knit feeling, it really helps a lot. So I think that's going to help us, perform better. But, not being on a factory team, you're not going to get the parts as soon as you would on a factory team, and you don't have as many resources. But we got a great group of sponsors, and I think that, the beginning of the season will be kind of tough, but I think eventually we'll get going and be able to fight for some wins. So it's going to be a great year, and super pumped to be back on the Superbike and just, chasing the dream.
So here's a question for you, man. I mean, you were a U.S. guy going to Europe, and I know I've always felt like, motorcycle road racing in the States has never got quite the pop it deserves. I mean, you guys are extremely talented, and I know in Europe, I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, you got guys like Valentino Rossi.
You're like gods over there.
Yeah, you're gods over there. I mean, how was it being an American and actually going to Europe and competing? I mean, what was the feel for an American going there? Because I've talked with like Scott Speed and some of the guys that have gone and raced Formula One, and I mean, it's a different vibe being an American in the paddock over there. How was it for you?
It's cool. I mean, the whole experience was just like unreal. I mean, going from being, like you said, here, it has been huge before, but it's kind of in a low spot right now. It's in a funk, and Moto America is rebuilding it. But, going over there, you all of a sudden you're getting your photos taken to be in a video game, and you're constantly being interviewed, and there's fans coming up from all over the place, where here it's kind of just, it's kind of like a older generation that's into the sport, and maybe some of their kids are into it, but it's really a bunch of older guys that are really just diehards, where there it's like being in NBA or maybe baseball or something. So it was definitely, eye-opening, and just all the technology involved in it, and how everything is just a one-off piece. So it was really hard to learn the bikes, but just going over there as an American, it seems like, they really want Americans over there because it's good for the sport. They get people from here watching, so it raises the TV numbers and all that. But it's a lot of it's really political, racing over there. You having a Spanish passport, helps you a lot, or even guys from Italy, it helps a lot more. Most of the teams are based out of Spain or Italy, and so it just helps. Knowing all the kids that race there, they grow up in that paddock. They go from Moto3, Moto2 to MotoGP, and everybody knows each other. Coming over there as an American, I didn't know anybody, and I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know where I should live or if I should travel back to the U.S. It was just, everything was so new. So they treat you well. It's a really fun deal, but it's really hard at the same time because you just kind of get thrown in, and it's a lot harder than you think it is, for sure.
Yeah, instead of focusing on racing, you got your living situation and traveling and, all the language barriers you have to worry about at the same time. You can't just focus on, your sport and doing what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's the hardest part, because everybody just looks at it, and like I had some bad results. My best result was like 16th. You're racing against 35 guys, but qualifying, it's like from first to 25th at some of the races, it's like you're within a second, and it's not like off-road stuff where the track's changing every lap. I mean, where hey, you hit that line differently, you get a second out of it. For us, it's like lap records are the same. They're within a couple tenths every year. So to be within a second of everybody, in every session, it makes it tough. So if you're starting in the mid-pack in the grid, you're not really going to make up any spots. Like if I got a bad qualifying position in America, I could make up some spots in one lap, 2 laps. But over there, it's like you're so tight that you're not going to be able to make it up. And so that was the hardest part, just how competitive it was. But like you said, having to get over the language and the traveling and living situation and trying to meet, learn the tracks and meet everybody on the team, that's like the most difficult part, is just trying to learn everything rather than just riding a motorcycle like I've done since I was 4. It's much bigger than that. You got to kind of, it's like, going to a new school, trying to learn everything. It's really tough.
Yeah. How does one, I know, you were talking about kids over there, they grow up, you know what I mean, through the ranks. I mean, here in the U.S., if somebody wants to be a professional, road racer, it's like, I mean, most kids come up and it's like, I want to be the next Ryan Dungey. You know what I mean? It's like, how does one take the road racing route? You know what I mean? How what led you to that? Because, I mean, there's some tremendously talented road racers in the States, but, you know what I mean? How do you go that direction? Because most, it seems like as a kid, everything's steering you towards the motocross route,
Yeah, and most people either start on a dirt bike, supermoto, or flat track. So were you the dirt bike kid or were you the flat track kid? Because I know most of you guys start at one of those baselines.
Yeah, the first bike I got, I was 4 years old. My dad got me a PW50. We went up to Gorman and stuff, and but he was a road racer. So we were riding dirt bikes, but that was the first thing I was on. But we were going to the Rose Bowl parking lot out in Pasadena in California, and just using cones and setting up little tracks, because at that time, you couldn't road race unless you were 8 years old. So
gotcha.
Up until I was 6, I was riding around in parking lots, and then that kind of started from there. We ended up lying about my age, pretty much until I turned 16. I've always had to pretend I was 2 years older. And my dad would be holding me up at the back of the grid because I couldn't touch my feet on the ground. So it was a little bit harder back then. But, whenever I started making a little bit of money, me and my family, we started our own track in Georgia. So I actually started up my own track in Georgia. And so we have a half-mile road course, and now kids grow up at my track, and I try and give back a little bit and teach them kind of how to get into it, and try and teach families. We go to the races and we kind of try and advertise that you can get into it. It's not something that, it's not the unicorn that everybody thinks it is. You got to be rich. You can start out riding mini bikes at my house, whether it's a road race bike or, like you said, a supermoto bike, or even a 50 with knobbies on it. It doesn't matter. Whenever you're that little, you're not going fast enough that the knobbies are really going to matter. So you can start out doing it. So like I said, we started that track, and now we have races once a month there that me and my family run, and we get anywhere from 30 to 60 bikes out there once a month, and just have fun with it. So we're trying to get it bigger, but like you said, it is, before it's how do you get involved into it? Nobody really knows. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do is make parents aware that they can get their kids into it, and not even just parents, but, guys that are in college or in the military that want to have some fun, they can go out and give it a try. So.
And that's really great. I mean, you're also setting yourself up, you're playing two ends of the spectrum here. You're giving back to the sport that you love. You're investing in, some other little career path possibly. And also, you're setting yourself up for once your career is done, you have such a great plan B to fall back on. And, you're being really smart with this, because sometimes people get so lost in it and their only focus is racing, and never really worry about plan B or once racing is done. And I just think, at the Herrin compound, this is such a great opportunity for you to have a full circle career, racing career into, your longevity with a job afterwards also. And, you can kind of be in as a racer and then be in as the mentor afterwards. And it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the biggest, looking out for my career afterwards, I think the biggest thing is just having the track, as a little nest egg to fall back on. But it's definitely not something that you get rich on for sure. It's just actually having the property with the track there. But, it's, for me, it's so cool. We've had the track now since 2008, and I've been helping my mom run races there since 2012 or something like that, or 13, when we started doing our own little league there or our series. And it's cool now seeing Aaron Yates' kid, Ashton Yates. He's been coming there since he was 10 years old, and now he's racing Moto America with me. And it's so neat seeing somebody that was, this little tiny kid like I was when I started. Now he's taller than me and he's racing against me. And that's the coolest thing. That's what I really enjoy out of it, is just seeing the kids come up through it. And every month, we get, it's crazy. We get, there's a little girl that comes and races there now. She's 9 years old.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah, her name's Kayla Jacobs. She comes from Pennsylvania every month. I think it's 15 hours each way. So they're driving 30 hours just to come race 2 days. And Gavin Anthony's another kid that's starting to race the KTM Cup in Moto America. They're driving from Ohio every weekend. And it's just gnarly seeing the commitment out of these parents. And I know my dad, when I was growing up, he was taking me racing all the time. And you don't really think about it when you're little, but now that I'm this age and I see what's going on and how much effort these parents put into it, it's crazy, and it's really cool. And that's, it's motivating. And it's also good, too. I used the track before whenever I was in Europe and not doing good. It was kind of like a thing I could come back to and remember why I love the sport, why I love motorcycles. And so it's always been cool having that there so that I can use it as almost a crutch. I come back and see how much fun everybody has and just enjoy the sport again.
Yeah, so we're running out of time, buddy, but give us the details on this weekend. How can people follow along and see what you're up to out there at the MotoGP at Austin?
Yeah, so the race this weekend, our series is called Moto America, racing the Superbike class. You can watch all the races Saturday and Sunday on BN Sport. It's a channel on pretty much every network has it. So you can watch it on there. You can also watch it on their website. It's like BN Connect, I think. But you can get all the information on MotoAmerica.com or go to my Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, any of that stuff, and you can check it out and see what we got. I also post a bunch of stuff on my YouTube. So pretty much all the information's on all the social media. It's the easiest way to look at it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Josh. Definitely have to catch up again soon. Lots of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for having me on. I've never listened to the show before, but I listened to it the whole 4 hour, since 9 o'clock this morning while I was on my 4 hour drive. So I really enjoy it, and I'll be watching or listening.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right. You too.
Bye.
All right. That was Josh Herrin, and we're going to take a short break. We come back, wrapping things up on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up. Big shout out to Josh Herrin. as well as Matt Martelli for calling in. Don't forget RJ Anderson, XP1K4. It's live right now, UTVunderground.com. Check it out before it goes viral. I guess you can catch it after it goes viral. But anyways, I'll be posting it up to my Facebook page later on today, so you guys can tune in and check it out. Also, this Thursday, Sebastian Bach on Project Action. It's dropping. It's great. You guys are going to love it. And he is actually tomorrow, Wednesday, going to be on Comedy Jam. It's a pretty amazing show, really. But anyways, we talk about it in the interview. But if you want to catch that, it's going to be this Wednesday, Comedy Jam, Comedy Central. He's singing Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. I think you guys would love that. So definitely check that out. This Wednesday, Thursday, that Sebastian Bach interview drops. Make sure and rate, review, subscribe, and leave me those Twitter, Instagram handles in the review, and I'll follow you back on both the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action's reviews over there on iTunes. So, got some events this weekend. Supercross back in action. We got ARA, Oregon Trail Rally. We got Lucas Oil. We got MotoGP down there in Austin, Texas. Got to give a shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, KCI Lights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Terracross, Motor Resort and Casino, and Optimus Starters. Give me a follow. It's at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. Amy is at AmyHood71. And, once again, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to Project Action. You're looking for a Dirtfish coupon code. Use the coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We got some amazing guests lined up for this show next week. Trust me, it's going to be epic. Be safe. As always, game on.